Giving without feeling resentment, without feeling burnout is often a challenge for us busy moms, working moms, and even stay-at-home moms. It goes for any woman of all ages and stages because we all feel burnout in our own way at some point. However, how do we give without feeling that resentment? Nurturing ourselves physically, spiritually, to give in a meaningful way, to give to ourselves, to give to others, and taking care of our mental health. My name is Leah Abramov, and I'm here to share with you some ideas on self-care, nurturing yourself in a way where you don't feel burnt out. I would love any feedback you'd like to give, and subscribe if you like what you hear. Hope the ideas will be helpful. Stay tuned for more. How do we give without feeling burnout? As busy moms, as working moms, as moms who are maybe stay at home, if you are working, if you are currently unemployed, the point is we need to take care of our mental health, nurture ourselves, make time for self-care. But how do we do that without feeling burnout, without feeling guilty about doing the self-care? That's often something that I hear from ladies, feeling guilty, feeling like you're being selfish. But at the same time, we know that we can't run on empty. So I'm going to share with you some ideas on how to make time for self-care, ideas on how to give in a meaningful way while nurturing yourself as you give of yourself to others. We're here in this world to make an impact. What kind of impact are we here to make? To make a godly impact. In other words, we don't live in a vacuum. We don't live our own lives for us. We're not here to take up space in this world. We're here to make an impact, a godly impact. Versus the attitude, an opposite attitude of, I will get away with bare minimum just to cover my bases. I was talking to a friend of mine many years ago, and she told me the following. She said, I would rather not learn new things, meaning how to become more spiritually aware, because if I do take things upon myself, spiritual practices, then I'll be obligated to do them. And if I don't know, then I won't be obligated to do them, simply because I didn't know. Basically, it's all about ignorance. So the point is, living comfortably and saying I don't know just won't cut it. I take up space in this world. I'm not here to waste my time. I'm not here to comfortably live my life and just simply enjoy and pretend I'm living in a vacuum for myself. That's not what I'm here for. We want to be educated people in this world. So what does that mean to be an educated person? It means we will do our best to go the extra mile, to do the chesed, to do the mitzvah the whole way through, to do it with a smile, to do it without resentment. An uneducated person does not understand who they really are. So in the world today, my own insight is in the world today, we are impressed with educated people. We're impressed by people with degrees, who have many initials to their name, right? Wow, they're educated. Oh, they finished Yale, they finished Harvard and other, universities. Wow. Already you have, a different impression on the person. We're really impressed by educated people. However, we know that education has nothing to do with understanding a person's greatness. A person may not even know that they're so great, even though they are educated. So what does that mean? We mean that even educated people, the educated people that we know in our world, right, or the secular world, how they view education, can act like monsters. Politicians can act so incredibly unethical, even though they're educated. So in a secular world, it doesn't mean it's very impressive. However, we're talking about Torah. Torah is teaching us that the educated person is aware of their greatness, is aware of how great they can become. So understanding that what you do reverberates around the cosmos It's so incredibly important. And the opposite attitude is simply ignorance. All we have to do is educate ourselves. The way This way we will have a burning desire to go the extra mile. And this way we can be as big as we can possibly be. So it's all about being and becoming, right? Being more and more, being all that you can be. So practically speaking, people can feel burned out, right? Constantly giving and not getting back. Oftentimes, women are naturally, we want to give, we want to give, we want to give. But it's very easy to feel burnout. It's very easy to have resentment because the other person doesn't even return 10% of what you do. And it could feel like something you feel neglectful afterwards, neglected, and feel resentment as well. You know that your car cannot run on empty. You can't run on empty. So you need to nurture yourself first. Just like in the airplane, we put on the mask on ourselves if in case of emergencies, we need to save someone, a family member, or help them in any way. You can't help others if you can't help yourself. So we have to be able to give to ourselves first. But I want to get into the art and the gift of giving itself. The trick is, the more that I give, the more I get. The more I give, the more I'm giving to myself. I am building me when I give. In other words, when I'm trying to invest in a relationship, it doesn't mean it has to be with a spouse. It could be with anybody. It could be a child. It could be a coworker. It could be a relative. If I am investing myself in this relationship, I will be the one who's gaining the most because I'm giving to this person, whether it's my time, whether it's gifts, whether it's attention, whether it's compliments, whether it's help. I am giving, I will benefit the most. That's why when you reply, the person replies, thank you so much. It's really your pleasure. When we say my pleasure, it really is your pleasure because it is your eternity. Because the more you give, the bigger you become. Basically, the person is doing you more of a favor than you are doing to them. So you become a bigger person. My spiritual impact on the entire world is even more. So when I become a more giving person, I affect the whole world. So for example, giving someone a ride, even though it was inconvenient for you, or making a meal for someone who's going through a tough time, or indulging yourself in giving tzedakah, charity, no matter the amount. The only thing you bring with you into the next world is what you give away. Someone else's gorgeous custom dining room is not going with them. The 50 unique pairs of shoes are not going with them. The beautiful antique crystal vase will one day break anyway. And your gorgeous custom dress will one day be someone's Purim costume or holiday costume. It will be. It will be out of style. So let's invest in giving. It doesn't mean we can't have nice things, but don't let your head take all the space. Investing in things and things and things. Enjoy this world, but don't let it take so much headspace where there's just little room to grow. A person, you just can't do it all. You can't be physically invested in this world and spiritually invested in this world in the same amount at the same time. You have to be able to give one or the other more. So let's put our heads in the right space and give. And the bigger I become, then the more significant my spiritual impact will be. So you personally don't know who you will influence, whether it's giving advice, whether it's just being the way you are. I heard someone give a compliment to someone else by saying, look, I don't really know this person, but when I'm around them, it gives me that aura. It gives us this beautiful aura, and I just admire them so much, even though you don't know them very well. But around that aura, you can affect people simply by being, right? So you know that in our world, we're used to seeing results. We're used to seeing numbers. Someone who is very popular has so many subscribers, and we're like, oh, they're doing great things, they're really popular. That doesn't mean there's so much nonsense on the internet that people subscribe to. That doesn't mean they're making a great impact in the world. So you want to be able, with yourself, even if you're not a speaker, even if you don't give classes and you're not in the public eye, you don't give material online, it's fine. The point is, we're so used to seeing, okay, this person has this much money, they're more influential. This person has this much subscribers, they're more influential. No. That doesn't mean that. You don't know your greatness and you don't know who you're influencing. You just simply don't know. So by being that spiritual influence, you actually bring spiritual vibes throughout the cosmos. And people, even on the opposite side of the world, will merit salvations and blessings. In other words, when I become a more giving person and I give and I become more in my own small way, let's say I decided not to judge as much or judge less or not speak Lashon Hara as much or less or try to be more tsanua, modest in any way. This is your personal growth and nobody has to know about it. But because Hashem knows about it, your growth has spiritual impact on the whole world. And all of a sudden, someone across the other side of the world merits, their wishes to be granted, blessings, salvations. I have personally had speakers call me up and they say, I try to speak in this platform and in this way, and I'm not getting so much subscribers and I'm not getting so many people attend my speaking engagements. How should I continue? Should I continue? And I always tell them, as long as you're growing, you should do it. If this is helping you grow, you should do it. You're becoming a better person through this. And of course, because you don't know who you're impacting, you don't know who you're affecting. As long as you are growing, you are going to affect others. And there's no number to measure. Basically, we can't say someone's value or worth through numbers. Hashem knows who you can impact and how you can influence others. So we said briefly earlier that we cannot nurture others or help others if we haven't given ourselves nurturing or self-care. It is a mitzvah, a positive commandment to nurture yourself, to give yourself self-care. We are not supposed to feel guilty about taking that beautiful walk, about buying ourselves a dinner or lunch, or doing less on our to-do list, or going for a massage. It's not something that we should hide. This is something you should be proud of because you are taking care of yourself. Your body, your abilities are all from Hashem, and Hashem gave you a certain, a certain amount you can handle and you can do it the way you run. Why try to impress yourself or others that you can run on empty? You cannot run on empty. The reality is that we are not as strong as we used to be. In our generation, we are a weaker generation, and that's just perfectly fine. A parent is not going to tell their child, meaning a healthy parent, why aren't you like your brother? He started reading at 2. Why aren't you like your sister? She helped me do so many chores when she was this old. We're not supposed to compare our children. So why do we compare ourselves to people in past generations or to people in our lives? So ladies, let's stop comparing yourself to your mothers, to your mothers-in-laws, to other women. Stop competing because life isn't meant to be a competition anyway. So we are nurturing ourselves and giving ourselves self-care. It is important to sleep enough and it is important to sleep well. Someone gave over the following advice to Rebbetzin Esther Bela Schwartz. And they said, when she was a young mother, patience is physical. So what does that mean? If you want to be patient, soft-spoken, and gentle, you can't run on empty. You can't eat chips. You can't be sleep deprived. You can't eat junk for a few days and then expect to be this patient, calm mother. It doesn't work that way. If you want to be patient, we need to go to sleep on time and eat somewhat healthy foods. A lot of the times, the basic midot, basic character traits are physical, right? To be a smiley person, to be a calm person, to be an attentive person. You can't be sleep deprived and malnutritioned if you want to have the basic midot in you. Self-nurturing is definitely a mitzvah, but having the right attitude will extend the life of your battery. Rebbetzin Kanievsky of blessed memory did well on 3 hours of sleep. I can't do that, and you're not expected to do that. However, there was one story where one of Rebbetzin Kanievsky's daughters bought her linen for the bedroom, beautiful linen, And of course, she was grateful and she put linen on the bed. But then a few days later, she approached her daughter and she said, look, I put the linen. It's so beautiful. I really love it. However, I think the neighbors would appreciate it so much more since they sleep more. I usually sleep a few hours and your father also. So I think they would get more pleasure from it. And the daughter did give it away to the neighbor. So we're not expected to be like Rebbetzin Kanievsky, right? The point is we can't run on empty. The vast majority of people cannot not sleep much. So if you need more sleep, buy the family pizza instead of making dinner. Don't go to so many events in the evening. Plan your getaway. And if you do all these acts of self-care, do it l'shem shamayim, meaning for the sake of heaven. This way, you're actually not just nurturing yourself physically, you're nurturing yourself spiritually. Do it with kedusha. In this way, it will fill you up even in a more profound way. One day Rebbetzin Schwartz was not able to teach. She was sharing about a certain, situation because of the weather. It was not so safe to be outside. It was bad weather. So she said to herself, I'm not teaching today l'shem shamayim. Meaning for the sake of heaven, I'm not going to teach today because it's just not safe to be out. Sometimes you have to not do something. Just because you want to do a positive commandment, like teaching in her case, doesn't mean now you have to put yourself in a way where you're risking your health. If you would need a hospital, then the Chatzala will have to come and would risk other people to be outside just for you to do that mitzvah. So we really have to juggle, what's important, how do we incorporate self-care, what's really going to help us not run on empty. I live in New York and there's so many beautiful events happening. I live in a beautiful community, thank God. And you don't have to attend every event just because there's events happening every single day and places to go every single day. You have to choose where you need to go, where you have to go. And monitoring your self-care and giving to yourself without resentment. And this way you won't be able to run on empty. It's so important. So to wrap it up, we know that self-care, to care for others, is necessary, and to do mitzvot l'shem shamayim. I'm leaving you with a practical tip. Nurture your physical needs with good sleep, eating healthy, and also stop electronics certain time in the night. So if you go to sleep at a certain time, whether it's, let's say it's 12 a.m., you go to sleep every night. So try to stop using electronics an hour or two before you go to sleep. So have some other things in your bedroom that you could look at before you fall asleep. Something that won't take so much headspace, something more relaxing, maybe a magazine. Maybe if you love learning about animals, maybe you want to travel to certain places, a travel book, recipes, just to enjoy and not plan and worry less and plan less and think less, and just use that kind of downtime for yourself to enhance your mental health, to give yourself more sleep, more relaxation right before you fall asleep. It's really, really important. If we don't take care of ourselves, nobody's going to take care of us. If we're running our homes, we need to run our homes l'shem shamayim. If you're taking a break, do it l'shem shamayim. If you're relaxing, do it l'shem shamayim. If you're doing for your family and making that 3-course meal, do it with a smile, l'shem shamayim. Nobody needs mommy with a sour face sitting at the table with her gorgeous meal, 3-course meal, and her sad face or unhappy face. I hope these ideas were helpful. They were inspired by Rebbetzin Esther Bela Schwartz, Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming, awakening awareness of your greatness and potential.